welcome to the next video. So this is part of the makeup artistry series, and today we're going to be talking about makeup contracts and makeup artist contracts. Particularly, I'm going to be talking about bridal, but I will say anything that I do say today can be kind of adjusted to a makeup artist contract anyway. So I'm specifically just talking about bridal today, but all those situations can be included in any type of makeup artistry that you do. So thank you for looking at the video today. Thank you for requesting it, and also thank you for the new subscribers and the old. And I do hope that you're enjoying the channel. If there is anything else you'd like to see, do let me know. So makeup artistry contracts, why are they important? They're important because they protect you as a makeup artist. They protect you from any possible cancellations. I'm going to go into all of that. And they protect you from maybe not knowing certain things. So what's the point of a trial? The point of a trial is to, yes, find out about the makeup and talk about that, and look at the look and finalize the look. But it's also, what you go there for is to obviously ask questions and find out possibly they have skin conditions. If they didn't tell you they have skin conditions and something happens on the day, you're responsible. So you don't want to have any of that happen to you. So I have, for example, I'm going to go through what I am going to kind of talk about, and I have written so many notes because I'm quite passionate about this, because you do over time, you do learn these things as you go along. So in the beginning, I didn't have a contract. I would start the first 3 or 4 months of makeup artistry. I was doing makeup. It was really, really fun, but I was definitely looking at YouTube videos as I went along, and I was actually looking more on the business side of it because I was getting quite good. I was getting money in, and I started to decide that this could be something on the side that I could do and enjoy really well, but I do want to protect myself. And that's where a business contract comes in, because essentially, guys, you are a small business. You're trying to work for yourself. You're kind of creating your own website. You're creating your own business cards. You're asking people to be models for portfolio purposes. You're doing so much. You're investing in a kit. I mean, it's a huge, huge thing to do. It's a huge leap to take. So you definitely want to protect yourself. So I've got so much stuff here to tell you guys, but I wanted to write it down because I don't want to miss anything out, because I really want you guys to know kind of how to protect yourselves, but also your client. So that goes back to when I was talking about an allergy. So if you do a trial, as well as talking about, meeting the family, talking about the look, doing the look, all that stuff, deciding on the look, you are finding out other things. So particularly allergies, if there's something that what bride can't wear, or a person that you're doing can't wear, bridesmaid, and maybe it's a special occasion, and you ask all those questions, you find out that information that you really, really need to know. So things that also does is it binds your date. It binds it specifically to that day. They have to be there. You are there to perform that service, and it holds that date for you. So the reason then that links into a cancellation fee is that if for whatever reason they do cancel, you have that fee to charge, because you have essentially not taken on any client that day and put that date aside in your diary for that person. So if it is cancelled, I give them a 4-week cancellation fee. So if they let me know before a month, that's absolutely fine. I'll reopen that date. If it goes into maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before, I don't usually get, when I'm asked to do bridal, it usually is, for 6 months or 7 months down the line, even a year sometimes. So what I'm saying is 3 weeks, would be too late for me. 2 weeks would be too late for me. So I do that month cancellation fee. I don't charge anything before that, but you do have to protect yourself. You do have to financially gain from this, because this essentially was your day job. You were going out there, you're making your money, and you're coming back home again, putting it into your kit, maybe feeding your family, anything like that. It's all kinds of reasons, but you do need to protect yourself. So have a cancellation fee. So the contract binds yourself and your client to one another, and the trial ensures that you've kind of ensured, okay, I know about her skin, I know there's anything wrong, she's told me, we've done a whole list. Take a pen and paper, guys, write anything down that's specific, as well as the makeup. Write down what she needs, and I've actually created my own. I've created my own additional trial contract, and it just says skin type, dry, skin care that she usually does, acne, and then after the acne it comes into skin allergies, things like that. So it really helps me, guys, down the line, having that extra paperwork, because it really helps me on the day. So if something does happen on the day, guys, it's not your fault. You have done anything, you've asked everything you possibly can. That person has signed to say, yes, I have such and such. If this happens, I have let my makeup artist know, and she has taken due diligence and care. If something happens that day that's out of your control, guys, it's not anything that you have done and you can't be responsible for it. So that's a big thing to take a deposit again, guys, because that deposit is going to bind that date down. So as well as a cancellation fee, if obviously, fingers crossed, everything goes smoothly and you just take the importance of that deposit is that you're finalizing that date. So take that money, that finalizes the date for them, send over the contract, they sign it, you send it back, you have it, and that's your date secured. That's their date secured with you, and that's your financial deposit down for yourself. Make a list of what you want in your contract, guys, because everyone is different. A basic contract I'll go through right now. So you have your logo obviously at the top of what your company is. So for example, I'm Glow Within Makeup Artistry. And what you'll do then is you'll have the client's name, the client's friends or family, who else is getting their makeup done. So I usually leave about 4 spaces, but those 4 spaces have double lines. So the bride is here, or the main person getting their makeup done, and then I've got 4 lines on each side. So essentially there's 8, and there's never more than 8 I've ever had to do. So for example, the maximum I've done is a bride and 3 bridesmaids. But so basically the bride is at the top, the bridesmaids are at the bottom, and the mother of the bride. So that's what I did. But it's important to have the additional information for the other people you're doing the makeup for. And then again, you're going to go through skincare with them. You're going to ask them if there's any allergies, is there any issues that you have that I need to know about. So basically it's your name, their name, it's the additional people getting their makeup done, it's the venue and the venue date, and the time that they need to be ready for, and the time you're going to start. So if for any reason, guys, they're late, it's going to kind of have an effect on obviously the makeup obviously being applied, the time, the wedding, everything like that, or the special occasion. You need to have a time set with them. They've signed it, they're going to be there. So for whatever reason, if they're late, it's not, if you can't finish, if there has to be additional time, that's something that was out again of your control, and it was written in pen and paper. This was the start time. This is when you said I should arrive. I arrived at this point. You weren't there, for whatever reason. You will now have to kind of give me that additional time, particularly if there's 3 or 4 people to do. So that again just protects you too. And research, as I said, research different makeup artistry contracts. Mine came directly from QC Makeup Academy because I did a bit of the business section. It talked about accounts. So definitely, guys, look at what you need to do. I know in America, there's taxes you have to pay. And you submit your taxes at the end of the year. I'm not knowledgeable on how that would kind of include makeup artistry, as it's a freelance business. That would be something you'd have to look into. But definitely, be ready as well as part of the contract. Make sure that you make clear what your payments are. So do you accept PayPal? Do you accept obviously debit cards? Do you accept cash on the day? All of that, guys, needs to be written in a contract beforehand. So what I have is I have a little card reader. I didn't have it before. I think I've gotten it in the last year. So if they say, oh my God, I didn't bring the cash, oh my God, which might happen, it's not anything that is intentionally done, you can say, oh, it's okay, I've got my card reader here. And then that links to your account or PayPal. You can wait and say, oh, that's fine, got PayPal. Or even if they've got online banking, you can say, that's absolutely fine. Let's go ahead and do a bank transfer. So always make sure, guys, that's in your contract. This is the amount due. So if you don't want it to be paid on the date and you want it to be paid before, have a specific date. So if it's the 10th of January 2023, payment must be made by the 8th. So again, you're definitely getting down there absolutely everything you need to know, and you're ensuring that you're going to get paid. So I'll say again, if it is on the day, maybe remind them that you're being paid on the day, maybe the night before. Don't forget, we're taking payment on the day, can't wait to see you. Make it quite social. Just to let you know, it would be great if you have cash or whichever you prefer. Let me know and I'll bring my card reader. Bring it anyway. Invest in one, guys. They're not that dear. You don't have to get kind of a really expensive one. Once it reads their card and it's detailed up to your bank account, they'll pop that in, it'll go straight into your account. So that's a really good thing too, because if you do have people that will say, it's never happened to me, but I've had friends who's, they've kind of, the bridesmaids have started to walk out of the room and you're like, okay, and people are starting to go and you have to go, hey, I need to be paid. And so have a card reader there if they say they don't have cash on the day. And again, if they're happy to do PayPal. Okay, so as we talked about how many people are there to do makeup on, we've allocated time, we've gotten their trial done, we know there's no allergies, so we are not responsible. This is all before it starts, and we're not responsible for anything that may happen in terms of skin, because I've been told, or I haven't been told, so possibly they don't tell you. It's never happened, but you know, they are honest and they come and say, I have an allergy for this, that, the other, I cannot have this product on my skin. That's the kind of thing you've protected yourself against. I've got a couple of things here that I really wanted to pop in. So rate for your services. So a lot of people say, okay, so I'm only a beginner, what am I going to do? I can't go out and charge £55, you know, for half an hour's work. What I always did at the beginning is I covered the kit. So what that means is I covered the cost of my makeup that I used that day. So when I started out, and I still have kind of Fit Me foundation, I have a load of those, I have a lot of foundations that I mix and match, and I think I will link below. I did put in all of my beginner and what I use now in terms of foundations, but what I'm saying is I cover the cost of what I've used on that lady that day. So the foundation and I basically the kit, I cover the kit. So if it's, say you've got Rimmel, you know, or Maybelline, I will say also that it does depend on the quality of how you are. So if you're starting to work from the start and you're not quite there just yet, you're still happy to do makeup, but you're not 100% where you want to be, keep that in mind with money. Just keep that in mind, that it may be, you know, maybe don't charge a huge amount if you are really good, but you're still maybe not great at maybe lashes or something, and somebody else maybe needs to come in or something like that. And your ability is how you go on, guys. So ability, but also the cost of the service. So I would say cover the cost of your kit and what you've used that day. Don't be afraid, guys, and I think this is really important. Where is this? Do you drive? So if you drive, how far away are they? Because when you have online or websites, it makes it accessible to everyone, basically. So somebody in, if you're, you know, in the UK, somebody in London might see your services, and you may live in Nottingham. What you're going to do? Well, you're going to ask them for their travel. So it's going to be travel costs. So that's going to be below the services. So, and I put in brackets depending on miles. So it depends how far I have to go. I never generally, over a half an hour, you know, if it's under half an hour, sorry, I don't charge travel. Over that, it's about £1 a mile, that kind of thing. Because guys, if you're going 60 miles out of your way, you know, and you're only going to be, you don't just want to be paid for the job at the makeup, you need to be paid and reimbursed for your petrol and things like that. So that's something to just say is travel cost, and you can work that out then between them, you and the client. So the other thing is, going back to pricing, what will your price be per service? So what are you going to kind of charge for a bride? What are you going to charge for the bridesmaids? What are you just going to charge for a special occasion? Because I appreciate not everybody does bridal makeup. And have that set in your mind, guys. Have that goal set, and make sure you're confident and comfortable to put that down in a contract, so that they will agree that that's the price they're going to pay. And that's really good in case something happens that's out of your control, as I said before. And things like even for yourself. So if there's for some reason, guys, protect yourself. If something out of your control happens that you are not able to make it. So do have the reverse in effect. So what I always do is, there's been, I think, one occasion where I couldn't make it, and so everything she'd paid me up to that point, so we hadn't gone on the day yet, so we'd done the deposit, the trial, and so I gave that back, basically, because, you know, it didn't go ahead, something was out of my control, so I gave what she'd paid up to that point back to her. And that's how I do it, and that was quite good, because then they know that they've gotten their money back. It's out of your control what's happened. It's very understandable, and it kind of works, you know, in the sense that they do come back to you, and, you know, things like that, and you do get another date and things like that, and you try to work it out between you. But if that specific date can't work, it gives her time then to find somebody. She also gets reimbursed, and it's kind of, you know, it's a good service to have, particularly if it's something that you can't make for some reason. There's also like a liable cause that any damage that may occur, and that is in the hotels, things like that. Cancellation policies as well kind of come into that. So damage that may occur, maybe something that was out of your control when you left, that kind of thing. So this is really going into specifics. So if it's in a hotel or a home and something gets broken, you're not liable. And that's what I say is, I put in liable. I'm just going to literally read what I put in. I put liable clause, please sign. This protects me and you from any potential damage that may occur on the day. And that just kind of, it broadens it, guys. So it widens out everything. So if somebody accidentally, you know, knocks over a table, anything like that, you are not responsible. Just because you were there at the time, you're not liable for anything, basically. Allergic reactions, don't be liable for those either. So that goes back into the contract. So basically, kind of and I will put something up here, that's really the essence of my contract. So what I focused on here with you today is I focused on ensuring that you have that trial, have a separate paperwork for your trial, which will include what you've done in terms of makeup. But what I do then is I have a separate column that says skincare awareness. And if there's anything, even things, guys, that there's certain creams they can't be around in the room. Some people are highly allergic, not just for skin, to anything. You know, I've had people allergic to a specific foundation. If they were around it, they started to kind of, you know, swell and things like that. And because there was a specific ingredient in that foundation that, you know, it was very, very similar to kind of like a food allergy. So really be, have a kind of a clause in there that you have been told, and they sign and say, yes, I've told Kira that I have, you know, an allergic reaction to liquid foundation, something like that. If this happens, I do tend to swell, I start to get out of breath, that kind of thing. And she's signed that, you've signed that, she knows, she's told you. God forbid, it's never happened to me, but you know, there has been occasions I've heard, you know, where something does happen, unfortunately, and you know that there's no contract or there's nothing there to protect yourself. So yes, so we're going to go over that. So basically a lot of policies and procedures today we kind of spoke about. So what I want to do is just go from the start. So you're going to have your company name at the top, and I will link below a couple of really useful kind of sites that I looked at at the very beginning. But then at the end of my course in QC Makeup Academy, they did have a really, really good contract that I used that I found really useful. So you're going to have your company name at the top, you're going to have the client's name and any additional people that you may be doing. You're going to have the venue, date and time. You're going to have a suggested time that they arrive so that they are ready in time for the event itself. You're going to have a client fee, and you're going to have below in brackets payments accepted. So if you pay, you know, if you'll accept PayPal, you know, for example, send a reminder if they're not going to send you, if they're not going to, that's another thing, call them as well as a contract, you know, and say, how are you paying on the day? If they are paying on the day, remind them if it's going to be cash, you know, all of that thing. Get a card reader. That's aside from what we're talking about. I would highly recommend a card reader because it does protect you from those situations where they say, oh no, I thought I put the cash in my wallet, you know, that kind of thing. You don't want to be stuck with something like that, guys. And you can just say, well, if you've got your bank card, I've got a card reader, and there you go. They tap it and you've been paid. So that's really, really important. So then you've got your pricing done. Obviously really have a look at how you feel comfortable in terms of what you want to price. We're all individual in that, guys. You know, that's something that you put up that you feel comfortable charging somebody. And then you're going to have the venue date, the time, you're going to have your cancellation fees at the kind of, so this is kind of more protecting both of you. So I have a cancellation fee, I have makeup artist cancellation fee, so that's myself, and I have in brackets, anything paid up to that date is refunded, because it's not anything they've done. I've had to cancel for whatever reason, and that's only been once, and I gave everything from that point back because that's the fair and right thing to do. If they cancel on you, I have 1 month notice at least, because obviously with brides, they don't just call you a week before and say, I need a makeup artist. In general, in my experience, it's been months before, and they found me on a website. They've said I've had one that was a year away from getting married, and she wanted to kind of nail down a makeup artist and all that stuff, which is really, really, really understandable, guys. So yes, so I have a month's cancellation fee in there. So if they don't let me know, for example, between 2 weeks or a week before the event itself, they do have to pay that fee. And then I have signatures. So it's really important. You can get these online signatures that you can go back and forth on. You can obviously have your paper contract and have it there. There's so many really good systems out there now. Computers, things that you can upload, and electronic signatures and things like that if you want to keep it on your laptop to print out for your accounts and things like that. And then you've got your contract done. So you've covered yourself, you've covered your cancellation fee, you've covered your deposit. Deposit really does guarantee the date. And that is also something that you will get back. So in your cancellation fee, if you're asking me what should I charge, so if they've paid for, so obviously they haven't paid for the makeup yet because they've cancelled. So what you're getting back is your cancellation fee, and your deposit isn't refundable anyway. So then you decide, it's up to you then to decide. I do have a fee that I charge, as well as the cancellation fee, because I have set that whole day out for them, guys. It hasn't been something that I have let any other clients in. I never ever take on another job on a wedding day. I just never do it because there's not time. And they're generally early in the morning. They can go on throughout the afternoon. I would never guarantee a time for somebody else if I was busy with a bride all day. So if they do cancel and that whole day is gone, you need to cover yourself, guys. You need to have a cancellation fee in there. And then obviously you both have that contract, you sign it, date it, and you both have a copy. It's really important, guys, to protect yourselves. This is a business. I know people think freelance makeup artistry, it kind of, for people that aren't very in the know about freelance makeup artistry, they may not know, this is actually a serious business. We need to be paid. It's not something that, you do on the side, and expect not to be paid. It is it's a business. It's your business. You put a lot of hard work in. You build up your kit. You're experienced. You practice. You have, worked very, very hard for where you are. You've put a huge amount of work into marketing. You've done a lot, and you need that contract, guys, to cover yourself. So yes, that's it, guys. If you have any questions, I've covered everything you've asked here today, because I did have some questions, and I popped them in here just so you would have all the specific answers. So just make sure everything is clear in the contract, to make sure what you need to be paid is clear. There's nothing mixed up. There's no misunderstandings. Make sure that if you're charging for a trial, that's clear also. Make sure that they know that what's expected on certain dates. So again, I'll just go back to saying, if you're not going to charge until the wedding date is over, that day basically on the wedding day they pay, which is what I do. So they either pay by card, they tap on their card, or they pay by cash. And if you're not going to charge, if you're going to charge beforehand, let that be stipulated in the contract. Some people say payment needs to be given by, and it may be before the date itself. So absolutely put that in. And again, just put that liable clause in, guys, so that you are not liable for anything that may happen on the day. So yes, I'm really glad you asked about that, because it is really important to have those things in there, such as cancellation policies, allergy awareness contracts, things like that, because you are not responsible, guys. You're asking the questions, you're using your intelligence, and you're asking those questions, and if they're giving you back the answers and you have the knowledge, that's amazing. If you go into it, and even though you've done a trial and you haven't found out anything like that, and God forbid there's a reaction, then it's not a good situation for you to be in, basically. So yes, again, I will say after this, do research different makeup artistry contracts and see what you find. There are so many helpful ones out there, guys. I've found some on Etsy as well, which you don't have to pay for them, but I found some really nice Etsy ones too that are nice. There are really good free ones too. And what you can do is just take the basis of it. Don't actually copy it. Look at what they're asking in the contract and make it your own. So make your own one yourself, but do take a look for some ideas, particularly if you're starting out. So yes, that's it. Make a list. I'll say the last thing is make a list of what you want in your contract. Have it in. Protect yourself, liable, all of those things. Protect yourself, guys, is the big thing, because you want to make sure you get paid. You want to make sure that you're aware of any cancellations in a reasonable time, so that you can take on another client to cover that cost, and that you do get a cancellation fee back if they do cancel on the day. And then yes, because we love makeup artistry, we enjoy it. You've spent so much time with people, their families. It's a very joyous day. So you don't want anything to kind of ruin it that day. You don't want any misunderstandings. As I said before, allergy awareness too. You want to make sure everyone is 100% in the know. And yes, and then absolutely have an amazing day, guys. And that is what it's all about. It's about enjoying yourself, but also protecting yourself, because as I said before, it is a business. It's your business, and you don't want to be kind of out any money at all. So I hope this helped, guys. It's really important, I think, if you're a freelance makeup artist, to have a contract, because even in the beginning, because you know, it just protects you, because you may practice on your family and friends and you're like, do I need a contract? I've just started out. You do, you really and truly do, because your first client may be something, you know, that they have, you know, it just may be that they either, you just don't know the person that you're going to get. And I will say that I absolutely love makeup artistry, and I've never had an issue, but I have heard of issues where people will try and get out of not paying. You know, they'll say, oh my God, I'll give me your details, I'll pay you tonight. I haven't got my wallet on me. Things like that, guys, that actually can really ruin a day, because you've put all this effort in, and you know, you haven't gotten paid for it. And those little things can happen. They rarely do happen, but it can happen, where you go, you invest your entire day, and then you've got maybe, oh, did I pay? I thought you were paying. No, I haven't got my money. You know, things like that. And you just don't want to be caught up in that, guys. So protect yourselves. So yes, that is it. I hope you're enjoying your summer, guys. It is so warm here today. I'm about to put the fan on. I was going to put the fan on, but it's so loud. You would have heard the, wouldn't have been able to hear my voice. So I hope you all have a really good day and you're enjoying your week, guys. And I'll see you soon. And thank you for watching.